Welcome to our Contemporary American Songfest. We began these area-wide programs several years ago with a Mozart Fest. We had a special extended voice forum where students sang Mozart arias and songs, and Bev Patton rallied the musical theater students who narrated biographical highlights. The next year, we varied things with a Richard Rodgers Fest, and we came together with music from his stage and film works. Last year, we grew the program to become a featured event in the recital hall. It was a Schubert Fest on Valentine's Day, and I very fondly remember it as our big splash just before we went remote and our lives changed in a very big way. Today, we're together again with music that showcases students in our area alongside music that's very much a part of our cultural fabric. I can already announce that next year we'll be back for a 5th annual fest with a program all about equity, diversity, and inclusion. This evening, we'll have our students presented by studio, and we'll have each studio introduce their portion. You should be able to see all of that posted in the chat. There's only one student from my studio, not because I only teach one student, but because I was on sabbatical in the fall while my students were preparing these pieces with my colleagues. So it makes sense to feature them there. Matthew was working with Raymond Sage in the fall, and the song he'll be performing is one that he and I worked on together last spring. We're glad you're with us for this program, and we hope you enjoy our Contemporary American Songfest.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. A big thank you, of course, to our colleague Norman Spivey, whose brainchild this is, and for being such a wonderful producer of this evening's program. We spend a lot of time in the voice area at Penn State University working on the great works of the past, of the great composers of the past. But what a gift it is to get to share great works of composers who are living, who are American, who represent our cultural fabric. And it's been such a treat and such a pleasure to get to work on this repertoire with our students, to introduce them to this and to say, you know something? The person who wrote this, still alive. You could reach out to them. You could ask them questions about their music. You could interact with them. They would love to hear from you. My studio, we were very fortunate last semester to get to work on pieces by several of the sort of great preeminent composers of song currently living today. Laurie Laitman is a composer whose work you will hear from my studio. Laurie Laitman, currently alive and very, very active composer, described by Fanfare magazine as one of the most talented and intriguing of living composers. She has composed multiple operas, choral works, and hundreds of songs. And about her, the Journal of Singing published, "It is difficult to think of anyone before the public today who equals her exceptional gifts for embracing poetic text and giving it new and deeper life through music." In addition to Laurie Laitman, you will hear a work by a living composer, a little bit older than Laurie Laitman, called William Bolcom, actually. William Bolcom, who is a National Medal of Arts and Pulitzer Prize and Grammy Award-winning composer, is an American composer of chamber, operatic, vocal, choral, cabaret, ragtime, symphonic music, and he's, of course, very well known as being on the faculty at the University of Michigan and collaborating with his wife and musical partner Joan Morris on a number of compositions, including some you will hear this evening. In addition to William Bolcom, you'll hear the songs of Ricky Ian Gordon. Ricky Ian Gordon, a very active composer today, a crossover composer, in fact. He writes in multiple genres. Incredibly lyric, beautiful, beautiful gift for melody. The New York Times said of Ricky Ian Gordon, "If the music of Ricky Ian Gordon had to be defined by a single quality, it would be the bursting, effervescence infusing songs that blithely blur the lines between art song and high-end Broadway music of Leonard Bernstein or Stephen Sondheim. It's caviar for a world gorging on pizza." I feel like that should be the motto of the voice area at Penn State University. Caviar for a world gorging on pizza. Finally, the last composer you're going to hear from my studio is sort of the dean of American composers, certainly of American song, and this is Ned Rorem. Ned Rorem, an incredibly beloved and incredibly prolific person, major composer in our country's history of the last half century, certainly, and a remarkable gadfly. The world has been blessed by his longevity. Ned Rorem was born in 1928, and he's still around, and he's still tenaciously advocating for performances of his music. So it's such a pleasure to get to share this repertoire with you, this wonderful repertoire, and I hope you enjoy it.
Will there really be a morning? Is there such a thing as day? Could I see it from the mountain?
cry for those that live and those that die. You sing a lullaby. I wanna cry. I wanna pray that all my wishes could come true after today. And should I put a word for you, and should I say an extra Kyrie? I wanna pray. I wanna lie. I wanna think that things are better than they are. I wanna think we've gotten further, and that far is just an inch away. I wanna lie. A horse with wings. I wanna think of things like that and other things. I want two brothers, one who laughs and one who sings. I hope the future brings a horse with wings. I wanna know the things they told me way back then were really so. I wanna make a little mark before I go, not barely just get by. I wanna fly.
Early in the morning, cast a lasting shadow on the paling moon. What shall we remember of that afternoon? What shall we remember? Cool sand and dazzling light, you beside the ocean with your eyes so bright. What shall we remember of that precious night? What shall we remember? Slow dance, music and bliss, loving arms and one uninterrupted kiss. Oh, if it were only that. Instead of this, what shall we remember of the ones we miss? Dear friend, pain in my heart, I won't be afraid if we are meant to part. Some things have to end before they ever start. What shall we remember? What shall we remember?
You won't remember it. The apple orchard we wandered through one April afternoon, climbing the hill behind the empty farm. A city boy, I'd never seen a grove burst in full flower, or breathe the bittersweet perfume of blossoms mingled with the dust. A quarter-mile of trees in fragrant rows arching above us. We walked the aisle alone in spring's ephemeral cathedral. We had the luck, if you can call it that, of having been in love but never lovers. The bright flame burning, fed by pure desire. Nothing consumed, such secrets brought to light. was a moment when I stood behind you, reached out to spin you toward me, but I stopped. What more could I have wanted from that day? Everything, of course. Perhaps that was the point, to learn that what we will not grasp is lost.
It wasn't the policeman's fault in all the traffic roar. Instead of shouting halt when he saw me, he shouted amor, 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 amor. Even the ice cream man, free ice creams by the score. Instead of shouting butter pecan, look at me, he shouted amor, amor, amor. All over town it went that way. Everybody took off the day. Even philosophers understood how good was the good, 'cause I looked so good. The poor stopped taking less. The rich stopped needing more. Instead of shouting no and yes, both looking at me shouted amor. Da-da-da-ba-da-da-da-ba-da. 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 My stay in town was cut short. I was dragged to court. The judge said I disturbed the peace, and the jury gave him what for. The judge raised his hand, and instead of desist and cease, Judgy came to the stand, took my hand, and whispered amor, 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 amor. Night was turning into day. I walked alone away, never see that town again. But as I passed the church house door, instead of singing amen, the choir was singing amor. Da-dee-da-da-da, da-da-ba-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da. Amor, 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 amor.
Hi, everyone. Wow, we're off to a great start, aren't we, with all this wonderful variety and wonderful singing. I have the privilege of talking about Dr. Rachel Copeland's studio. When they were preparing for this concert, each student was given 3 pieces to consider, and after some research and exploration, one was chosen that would be best for their voice and also pedagogically. And I think through the exploration of these songs, the students really were able to expand their knowledge of contemporary music, which is what we're hoping to do, not only enjoyment, but learning here, right? And there's a wealth of excellent songs being written today in both traditional styles and those that are fused with other genres, such as cabaret and musical theater. So I'll build on what Dr. Christopher started and speak about a few composers in this section. One is Richard Hundley. I love composers that are also singers. He sang as a chorus member of the Metropolitan Opera for 4 years. And for 12 years, he was the studio pianist for the Verdian soprano Zinka Milanov. So he knew all about singers, and that shows in his writing. Jake Heggie started out as a pianist and became the resident composer for San Francisco Opera. His first opera was Dead Man Walking, huge hit, contemporary subject. And he's been writing songs specifically for particular singers he met at San Francisco Opera and afterwards. And that's the great thing with these contemporary composers. They often are writing for a particular voice. Libby Larsen, yay, we have more and more women composing. She was the first woman to serve as a resident composer for a large orchestra. In this case, it was the Minnesota Orchestra. And she's written lots of songs and cycles and operas. And what's interesting about her is the types of texts that she chooses are prose, often diaries and letters in the first person. So I think it's interesting what the inspiration is for these various composers. Now, we're going to hear 11 students from Rachel Copeland's studio. Please enjoy.
Love that never on me, I'm glowing away. What can a frail in a bridal veil say? Come on, night, make my day, make my day, make my day. My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night, but all my foes and all my friends. But all my foes and all my friends, it gives a lovely light. It gives a lovely light. I wanna cry, I wanna feel the world around me whirling by. I wanna cry for those that live and those that die. You sing a lullaby. I wanna cry. I wanna pray that all my wishes could come true after today. And should I put a word for you in, should I say an extra Kyrie? I wanna pray. I wanna lie. I wanna think that things are better than they are. I wanna think we've wanna make a little mark before I go, not barely just get by. I wanna fly. Please, 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 just let me be. Let me be a whirling top, let me be a floating cloud, let me be a bumblebee. Let me be a French fried cake, just me. Let me be a whirling top, let me be a floating cloud, let me be a bumblebee. Let me be a shiny toy, let me be a ice cream sundae or cotton candy spun on tight. Let me be a rocking horse, let me be a mockingbird, let me be a flashing light. The picture of irresponsibility, just me. Oh, what comes over the sea, shoals and quicksands past, and what comes up to me, sitting slow, sitting fast. Oh, what comes over the sea. With a moon in its blast, but nothing comes up to me. Sitting slow, sitting fast. Let me be, let me be, for my lot is cast. Land or sea was one to me, and set it snow or fast.
Free beer tomorrow, and no more rain than the hills can carry off. Daffodils will swell and break loose. The maple seed soggy in the muck will remember why they left home. Smile shyly and spread wide. Free beer tomorrow. Whoever left that coffee cup will remember and come back. The whispering planet will shudder and relax. little. No one will expect me to offer counsel on paragraph coherence or standards for tenure. I will remember where they buried my soul. In the woods. Free beer tomorrow.
Last night the rain stopped
Isn't that fabulous? We were able to hear a duet tonight. Thank you to the magic of our engineer, Chris Walmart, who is also making our program flow so smoothly. Thank you so much. Finally, we come to my studio, the studio of Jennifer Trost. I wanted to point out that there's some wonderful anthologies being published these days with songs that were composed within the last 50 years that are both familiar and unfamiliar to us. For me, at least, two of the songs that you'll hear next were unfamiliar to me, and it was a real pleasure to explore them with my students and get to know them. And now they're going to be in my standard repertoire. Of course, we chose pieces that suited their voices well, but also presented challenges, but were also satisfying to sing. In addition, the four studios felt it was very important to list the poets. You cannot have song without text. We have text first and then music. And what's interesting is that the poems represent many eras from 400 years ago to present day. So it isn't just contemporary words that these contemporary composers are setting. So a composer's inspiration has many sources. I'm going to talk about two more composers that you'll meet in this next section. The first is Ben Moore. He's like many of our composers. He's comfortable both with art song and musical theater, but also cabaret, chamber music, choral music, opera. Many of these composers are jacks of all trades. What I love about Ben Moore is he's also a painter. No, he is not Benjamin Moore, the paint you can buy at Ace Hardware, but he is a very fine artist. And the great thing about contemporary composers is they often have websites, and you can go to their websites and see what they're doing. Ellen Mandel also writes art songs, but what's interesting about her, she also writes music for the theater. Often music for plays, incidental music. So I think she's written it for like 40, 50 plays or more. So that's exciting that the theatrical is involved. Plus, she's one of those composers, if you're doing her music, write her an email or get her on Facebook or whatever and say, you know, I have a question about this. Can you help me with that? That's the amazing thing about these living composers who can help us perform their music and understand their music even better. Here are 9 singers from my studio. And before they perform, I just want to thank all the pianists who collaborated with our singers and made this possible. I hope you give them a big round of applause. All right, thank you so much. Let's enjoy.
Sweet Suffolk, ah, so trembly tight with feathers like a lady bright. Thou singest alone, sitting by night. Towit, 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 thy note that forth so freely rolls, with shrilling command the mouse controls, and singest a dirge for dying souls. Towit, 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 towit.
When I was 1 and 20, I heard a wise man say, give crowns and pounds and guineas, but not your heart away. Give pearls away and rubies, but keep your fancy free. But I was 1 and 20, no use to talk to me. When I was 21, I heard him say again, the heart out of the bosom was never given in vain. 'Tis paid with sighs aplenty and sold for endless rue. And I am 22, and oh, 'tis true. 'Tis true.
In the dark pine wood I would we lay in deep cool shadow at noon of day. How sweet a lie there, sweet a kiss, where the great pine forest and aisle is. Thy kiss descending sweeter were, with the soft tumult of thy hair. On to the pine wood at noon of day. Come with me now, sweet love. No use in my going downtown to work today. It's 8, I'm late, and it's marked down that way. Saturday and Sunday's fun to sport around, but no use denying Monday will get you down. No use in my going downtown to work today. No use, no use, no use. Saturday and Sunday's fun to sport around, but no use denying Monday will get you down. That old blue Monday will surely get you down. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farm woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. In the beginning was the cat, and the cat was without purr. The ether stirred, and there was milk, and the cat saw that it was good. It was good. Da 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 dee da 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 da. Our hands stretched forth across the milk and scratched behind the cat's ears, and it felt good. Da 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 da. Then the firmament shook, and there was produced a paper bag. And the cat went forth into the bag, and seeing that it was good, she fell asleep, at last to be identified. At last lapse upon thy side, the rest of life does say. want me.